Hey guys, Jay Macklin here, Platinum Realty. Hey, just want to give you a quick little update on the buyer agent certification program. I want to walk you through a quick little video on the process of what that looks like. So number one is we're going to walk through, obviously, the mindset of the agent that helps you identify what are the limiting beliefs or the issues that you have with getting a buyer broker agreement or loyalty agreement. And I always say this, like that our culture doesn't allow us or doesn't push us to be negotiators. It's hard for us to talk about money, and I think that's just we're all trying to be very professional, but we have to get past the mindset that we work for free or that we work and the seller pays us. That is not the case at all. As you guys all know, buyer agent or buyers pay 100% of the commission. I know you guys will start arguing with me on that, but I'll show you the flow of money. So number one is you have to get your mindset around how the money's paid, where the money comes from, and that you are worth it. I always say to my agents, look, you are the CEO of your business. You owe a fiduciary responsibility to the people who rely on you, your husband, your wife, your kids. You have to take your business seriously. So get your head around the fact that asking for money is normal. Every business does it. We're the only industry that I know of that we go out and we schlep buyers in our car. And I mean that in a very nice way. I did that for a lot of years. And we don't ask for money. We don't tell people what our fee is. We don't ask them, or we don't tell them, hey, this is the fee that we collect. Should we help you buy a house? So that's number one. Number two is, how do you transition from meeting somebody that you don't know, like an online lead, for instance, into a really good buyer presentation? And like I said before, not a buyer consultation, but a buyer presentation. And what are the steps of that? What are the slides? What are you talking about individually? We're going to dive deep into that. That was my biggest issue. I'm like, well, what do you talk about in a buyer presentation? So we're going to talk about the 3 or 4 critical pieces of a buyer presentation. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be a real elegant setting, but it has to be an expectation setting of what's going to happen in the process. But also we're going to talk about the fee, and we're going to talk about what our charge is and what the buyer will end up paying us, and or the seller or the listing agent. Doesn't matter how we'll talk about that. That's next, right? So overcoming objections. As we get into the buyer presentation, we're going to overcome some objections and help you identify some of the biggest objections that we hear when we present a buyer broker agreement or loyalty agreement, as we call it, and then how to overcome that, how to leverage the fiduciary with also what you bring to the table. Creating your uniques is going to be so important to this process, and I will give you samples of that. And then the next step is going to be, as you get it signed, how do you help that process through with the buyer, identifying the houses that they want to see, right? So for instance, if you have somebody who says, hey, I don't want to pay anything more than your fee, or I don't want to pay your fee over and above what the seller or the listing agent's already providing. Now, we have to assume that at one point, decoupling of commissions is going to be real, right? So we have to identify that the buyer could potentially pay the buyer agent, the seller would pay the listing agent. And so how do we have that conversation when we're making offers? Where do we include that? How do we, what's the word track? So anyway, I just want to give you a quick little highlight of this certification program and what that's going to look like. It's going to be a fairly detailed step-by-step process. And I think you guys will really enjoy the process, and you guys can fit it into the way you do business. We do this in a very high-end luxury market. You can do it in a starter home market, a move-up market, or a luxury market. So don't worry about that. Don't think it doesn't work for every situation. You just have to make sure it fits for your business, it's legal in your state, and your broker is okay with it. So anyway, hope you guys like this. If you have any questions, down below is my information, and we'll talk soon. Bye.